Welcome back to Wrestling with Horror. My name is Andrew Dreamer, and 2022 is coming to an end. As you're watching this video, if you're watching this video on the day it releases, it is New Year's Eve. So before I really get into anything else, I just want to say I hope you all have a happy New Year if you're celebrating, and stay safe. Just want everybody to make it home okay. Let's all stay safe tonight and have a good time. Anyway, let's just jump into this video. Sorry if I sound a little odd. My voice is kind of gone. I've had a sinus infection the last couple of days, so I've been fighting that, but I could not go through the end of the year without making another video for you all. So, as 2022 is coming to an end, I started reflecting on some of the better moments that we've had in professional wrestling this year. It's been a crazy year for professional wrestling. A lot of weird things have happened. A lot of things that we thought would never happen have happened. And yet we've come to the end of the year. So instead of focusing on some of maybe the more down aspects of wrestling that we've had this year, let's talk about some of the better things that have happened. So without further ado, this is going to be my favorite moments from professional wrestling this year. And just a disclaimer, this is just my opinion. This is what I enjoyed the most. So my list is probably going to be vastly different from yours, and that is 100% okay. It doesn't really matter. We're all just having fun. We all love wrestling. So that's really all I need to say. So let's just jump into it. So starting off my list it's really two different moments, but they're kind of similar. They coincide with one another, but I'm separating them into two different entries because one leads to the other. And obviously, there's a little bit of bias for me, having been trained by this person. But nonetheless, my first moment I want to talk about is Cody Rhodes returning to WWE at WrestleMania this year. That moment was just phenomenal. The crowd reaction that he got, it's everything that you want in a return. Something that he always told us in training was that wrestling is about moments. It's not about matches, it's about the moment that you create. And that was a moment that he created himself. He bet on himself when he left WWE. He bet on himself when he got into business with Tony Khan and the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega and everybody else at AEW. And he once again bet on himself to go back to WWE. And he is one of the biggest stars in the promotion. And it really showed when he got this huge pop from the crowd coming out of that. Well, coming up the Cody Vader, as it's called. So that moment was just phenomenal for me. It was amazing for me to watch as a fan, um, and a wrestler, both. It was just an amazing moment. The anticipation, the lights going down, and then just finally hearing that wrestling has more than one royal family. That was just amazing for me. And of course, that's going to lead into the next moment, which is Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins at Hell in a Cell this year. Well, Cody had some big plans throughout the rest of the year. I think they probably still have big plans for him. Actually, I know they do. I mean, they would be ridiculously crazy to not have those plans. But I know a lot of the plans were derailed the moment that we all heard that Cody has torn his pectoral muscle. And the first time when I first heard that, I thought that he was out of the match at Hell in a Cell. I thought there's no way that he's going to go out there and wrestle. And yet he defied all the odds. And then when I first heard that he was going to continue to wrestle, I thought, oh, maybe it's not as bad as they were saying it was. But as soon as he came out onto that ramp, I could tell like he wasn't really moving his arm. You could see a little bit of bruising under the coat, but it wasn't until he actually took off that coat. And yet just the sheer amount of bruising that was over his pectoral muscle, down his arm, it was nothing but red and purple. All the blood had come to the surface of the skin. It was gnarly looking. It was honestly kind of gross. But I was glad to hear that he really couldn't damage it anymore. It was just about withstanding the pain. And I know Cody is one of the toughest people that I've ever met. So him withstanding that pain was not even a question to me. I understand why he did it and how he could do it. And yet again, this man created another moment, a moment probably better than the first. I mean, let's just be honest. That moment is something that nobody else will ever have. At least not in the same way. Maybe something similar, but nobody will ever have that. That's his moment. And hats off to Seth Rollins for working with Cody on this. They did a fantastic job, and I can't wait to see those two back in the ring together again, because every time they get in the ring, magic happens. So this moment was just another one that I was like, oh my god, this is ridiculous, but it worked, and it was amazing. The next moment I want to talk about is actually from SmackDown. Um, not too long ago. It wasn't early in the year. It was pretty late in the year and deep into the Bloodline story. It was, of course, it was Jay's just not feeling too oozy. This moment it was hilarious to me. Sami Zayn is one of the best things on TV now, if not the best thing. The whole Bloodline story is just fantastic. I love everything that they're doing with it. I think they're making all the right choices. And seeing Sami Zayn in this position, getting a push that he so desperately deserves, it's just refreshing. It's nice to see, and the man always has a way to bring a smile to your face. And it was the best part of this was watching everybody try not to break character. You had the Usos about to laugh. Roman Reigns did a good job of keeping his character, but him coming in with a "you're not feeling oozy," that was it got me. It was one of the funniest things I've seen in a long time, and that alone is why that moment makes my list here. Next, we're going to be switching over to AEW for just a moment. We're going to talk about a match that happened pretty early in the year. It was January or February, I believe. But it was Bryan Danielson versus Hangman Adam Page. And I know they wrestled a couple times, but this is the one. They went to a time limit draw, a 60-minute time limit draw for the AEW World Championship. This match had everything you could possibly want in a wrestling match. They told the story. They had the blood that elevated the story. You had finisher after finisher after finisher trying to hit it, trying to hit that one move that's going to keep your opponent down. You had emotion tied into everything that was happening, and you had Hangman Adam Page hit one of the best buckshot lariats that I've ever seen him hit in my entire life, if not the best. It's hard to choose one, but this one has definitely got to be up there if you're keeping track of it. But this match it was a masterclass of what good, hard hitting, technical wrestling could really be. And it was honestly an early precursor for the Blackpool Combat Club. And there was definitely roots in there, and you could start to see those seeds kind of being planted, because this led into, Moxley and Danielson and all their stuff. It was wonderful to see, and it was the first time I'd experienced something like that in a really long time, feeling the emotions that I felt along the way with that match. It was like a roller coaster ride. You were up and you were down and you were up and you were down, right until that very last second when that bell rang and you knew that nobody really won. Okay, and the last moment that I want to talk about right now is something that AEW did. It was the Anarchy in the Arena match between the Blackpool Combat Club and the Jericho Appreciation Society. And it started off just fantastically when you had Justin Roberts just saying that stuff was about to hit the fan, stuff's about to get wild. And then you had Wild Thing playing for the first half of the match at least. And it was an intense moment that started off at hard hitting, and it was an all out war. Anarchy is the perfect word to describe what this match was. If you haven't seen it, you need to go watch it. If you're not a fan of that type of professional wrestling, I think you should still watch it, because it definitely is worth a watch no matter what type of fan you are. It's pandemonium. It's um, hard shot after hard shot. It's table after table. It's this person bleeding here. It's this person bleeding there, going into a meat locker. And then you have Jericho generating some of the best heat that any heel could ever generate by cutting off John Moxley's music halfway through the match and saying, no, 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 we're not playing that anymore. And then you continue the match as normal. It was just everybody put so much effort into this match. Everybody worked their butts off to make this one of the best matches that they could possibly make it. And I think this match honestly probably stole the show for me. That was a very good pay-per-view. But this match just, it's everything that I wanted it to be. It's everything that I love about AEW. It's the characters, it's the violence, it's the blood, it's the storytelling, it's the entertainment. As much as they say they're a sports or a professional wrestling company, they are a sports entertainment company as well. And I do appreciate that they lean heavier into the wrestling side of it. But there was a lot of entertainment value in the Anarchy in the Arena match. And it's one that I'm going to remember for a long time. I'm never going to forget it, actually. And it's one that I'm going to rewatch quite often, too. So I know that those were only 5 moments that I wanted to just take a few minutes to talk about. There are so many more that I could have put on this list, but I wanted to narrow it down to 5. I don't want to take up too much of your time today. I know it's New Year's Eve. Everybody's got plans. So, like I said, I didn't want to take up a whole lot of time, but I appreciate everybody that has made 2022 such a good year for me. I started this channel this year. I'm already up to 170 subscribers as I'm recording this, and I want to thank you each and every one for hitting that subscribe button. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, go ahead and hit it. What are you waiting for? You might as well get in early while the getting's good. Turn your notifications on so you never miss a video. My name is Andrew Dreamer, and I will see you next year on Wrestling with Horror.